Donald Trump says he will absolutely denaturalize immigrants convicted of crimes if he has the power. Well, the reality is he actually does. It's kind of strange because it does mean that you're a second-class citizen if you move here and then get citizenship later. I had an interesting conversation with Cenk Uygur a few years ago because he wanted to run for president, but he was born in Turkey.
Yeah,
And he said,
so we can't.
that's not fair. That violates the 14th
No,
Amendment.
it doesn't.
I think he was saying 14th, because I am an American citizen. That means I should have all of the rights of any American. He makes an interesting point.
But you're not a
However,
American-born
there is the
citizen.
power within the State Department to denaturalize. That means someone comes here, becomes a citizen, and if we find out that they fraudulently became a citizen, we can strip them of that citizenship. But that makes sense, right? You only got the citizenship through fraud, so therefore we void your citizenship.
Yeah.
Thus, Donald Trump does have the power to do it, and he says he wants to. I got to be honest. Good. It's so crazy that that's considered right.
Wish you could do that to regular Americans too. That just hate America.
And it seems right
Fine,
now
go somewhere else.
largely divided by, do you like the country
If
and
only.
think we should have functions that make the country exist? Okay, if someone comes here and then like marries, I don't know, it's like hypothetically, marries their brother so their brother can get a visa to come to the United States, that's immigration fraud. And they should be denaturalized for the fraud of our immigration system. Now, this is where it gets more nuanced. The issue being, it's obvious to everybody. If someone comes here from whatever country and says, I'm going to be an American citizen, and here's my information. Then we find out their info is wrong. We say, fraudulently obtained, void, go home. But what if someone comes here legally and appropriately, becomes a citizen, and then uses that citizenship to defraud the system for other people? I believe you are engaged in immigration fraud, and I believe this extends beyond the circumstances of your own paperwork. That is to say, your purpose for getting citizenship was to defraud the system after the fact, denaturalize, and deport. Trump can do it, and he should.
Agree.
Here's a story from Mediaite.
See you, Ilhan Omar. Go back to the country you love so much.
Immigrants who have committed crimes, telling reporters on Sunday night that, quote, if I have the power to do it, I would denaturalize. The president spoke to the press aboard Air Force One on his way back to Washington Sunday night, answering questions surrounding his recent actions on immigration, among other topics. Mr. President, you said that you might denaturalize some American citizens. Can you talk about that? Asked a reporter. He said, you mean people that are here, that are in here that shouldn't be in here? Reporter says that became Americans. Are you trying to revoke their citizenship? Trump said, well, we'll see. I mean, yeah, if we have criminals that came into our country, they were naturalized maybe through Biden or somebody that didn't know what they were doing. If I have the power to do it, I would denaturalize absolutely. The president was then asked to clarify the meaning of reverse migration. Quote, it means get people out that are in our country, get them out of here. I want to get them out. We got a lot of people in our country that shouldn't be here, and they came in through Biden, and he was the worst president in the history of our country. But the single biggest thing he did was allow millions of people into our country that shouldn't be here. Trump referenced the recent shooting of 2 National Guard members, one fatally by a suspected Afghan national. The event sparked the president's recent push for denaturalization.
Still alive.
Quote,
I wonder.
take a look at the people that were allowed to come into our country. We're paying a big price for it and will for years to come, including the recent killer of 2 wonderful National Guards people, said Trump. And I'll tell you what, that animal should not have been allowed to come into our country. Now, I do have an update in this regard. The young woman did pass, and it is nightmarish. A horrifying tragedy. This poor father, my heart goes out to you. I am so saddened by this. And this is what we fight for every day. We fight so that your children, you will, I'm gonna say it as crudely as I can, you will die before your kids.
Yeah.
That you will, on your deathbed, smile at your children holding your hands, knowing that they will carry on and you've done your best. And it is...
That's the goal.
So sad. This young woman, this brave young woman, joined the West Virginia National Guard, served this country, and had this horrifying thing. Now, I do have an update on the young man. It sounds like he's going to make it.
Good.
You know, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this, guys. These two National Guards members, they're locals for us here in West Virginia. We're in the Eastern Panhandle, and it's actually, I get very emotional on this because it is horrifying. I was talking about this the other, over the break when this happened. There's a restaurant at the Martinsburg Airport. It's a regional airport, and it's connected to the West Virginia Air Guard base, and we can see the great big jets. Really amazing to see. And we go eat there because they actually have really great breakfast. It's kind of amazing. You know, my wife and I were like, to be honest, if you want a good breakfast, like they got real sausage. Now, I don't mean like links and patties. I mean like the patties are clearly real farm fresh sausage, and it's, ill-shapen and all the good stuff. We go there and we can see these Guard members there with their families, and it's cool. It's an honor, and the photo of this young man was, I believe, at the Air Guard base, and it's crazy to think that something so tragic could happen so close to home. But the reality is, all of these stories hit someone close to home. That's why I want a future where, our brave men and women who don't die in their own backyards.
Yep. Shouldn't have happened.
These brave men and women drove an hour. Okay, this is the hour and a half to be in D.C., to be on patrol, to keep our streets safe because of monsters like this guy.
Yep.
And this young woman loses her life. And the Democrats had the worst message in the world, saying, well, if they weren't on patrol,
they shouldn't have been there.
What?
Yeah, that's the dumbest thing they've said.
Bring terrorist psychopaths into our country.
Exactly.
It wouldn't have happened. This is why Trump is right, and you got to get him out. It was initially reported they both died, but, I had a man come up to me the other day who thanked me for the videos that I made about it. Look, man, I'm just some dude who complains on the internet, but he told me the good news is that, God willing, they think he's going to make it. And, Trump has invited their families to the White House. So, and then uses that citizenship to defraud the system for other people. Odds to everybody. If someone comes here from whatever country and says, I'm going to be an American citizen, and here's my information. Then we find out their info is wrong. We say, fraudulently obtained, void, go home. But what if someone comes here legally and appropriately, becomes a citizen, and then uses that citizenship to defraud the system for other people? I believe you are engaged in immigration fraud, and I believe this extends beyond the circumstances of your own paperwork. That is to say, your purpose for getting citizenship was to defraud the system after the fact, denaturalize, and deport. Trump can do it, and he should.
Agree.
Here's a story from Mediaite.
See you, Ilhan Omar. Go back to the country you love so much.
Immigrants who have committed crimes, telling reporters on Sunday night that, quote, if I have the power to do it, I would denaturalize. The president spoke to the press aboard Air Force One on his way back to Washington Sunday night, answering questions surrounding his recent actions on immigration, among other topics. Mr. President, you said that you might denaturalize some American citizens. Can you talk about that? Asked a reporter. He said, you mean people that are here, that are in here that shouldn't be in here? Reporter says that became Americans. So you're trying to revoke their citizenship. Trump said, well, we'll see. I mean, yeah, if we have criminals that came into our country, they were naturalized maybe through Biden or somebody that didn't know what they were doing. If I have the power to do it, I would denaturalize absolutely. The president was then asked to clarify the meaning of reverse migration. Quote, it means get people out that are in our country, get them out of here. I want to get them out. We got a lot of people in our country that shouldn't be here, and they came in through Biden, and he was the worst president in the history of our country. But the single biggest thing he did was allow millions of people into our country that shouldn't be here. Trump referenced the recent shooting of 2 National Guard members, one fatally by a suspect in our country. But the single biggest thing he It's a tragic story, and it would never have happened if this guy didn't come into this country. Why did we bring him in? Why do we bring these people in? You know, we have traditions, we have values, we are a people. And it's sad to see all of this happening. If this guy was not brought in, if he was vetted properly, these Democrat policies, it just keeps happening. You know, the crazy thing is, Republican policies that Democrats complain about, what is it? They complain that rich people are keeping too much of their own money. And I'm like, I mean, I kind of agree, I guess. It's not the most pressing thing to me. You know, Steve Bannon talks about taxing the rich. They're ripping us off. And I'm like, I hear you, brother. Very Occupy of you, Steve. I agree. And they talk about minority issues. And I'm like, look, man, I'm concerned about the working class and paying the bills. What are they fighting for? I can talk about Democrat policies, letting criminals out of jail, a young woman being drenched in gasoline in Chicago and then immolated. Their policies of releasing criminals have made things worse. Their policies, their tax policies have made it harder to run a business. And what do the Republicans do? They're not resisting Democrat policies. They're just going, oh, slow down there. And what do you get? I got to be honest. What are Republican policies getting you? Pro-lifers? Well, in the local level, you got abortion bans. But what are the federal level Republicans even doing? I couldn't tell you. I had a conversation with me ma a few years ago. And she was like, why are you always ragging on Democrats? And I'm like, because Democrats do things. Like, let's be real. I can rag on Republicans for doing nothing. But what is it? pH neutral, okay? Like, Republicans suck because they do nothing. Democrats suck because they do bad things. So if I look at two people and Democrat do bad thing, Republican done nothing, I can be like, man, that guy's a lazy PO. He didn't do anything. That person's burning the house down. Case in point, this story. I say Trump, denaturalize, deport, get it done. The big news, of course, he's pausing all asylum applications and visas for Afghans. Listen, I think there are people in Afghanistan who served this country when we were there. I don't think we should have been there. I think you vet some of these people, we owe them. Because we leave behind the people who worked with us, who fought for whatever our vision was supposed to be. I don't know. They sacrificed a lot for us. Mm-hmm. Loyalty matters. But the idea that we're going to bring in anybody without
trying to adjust my blanket
is absolutely ridiculous. A small West Virginia town brought even closer through grief. In Webster Springs, everyone knows one another. When National Guard Specialist Sarah Beckstrom was killed, that connection was further strengthened. I don't know if you guys saw the post from her dad. Lord help us, man. The things I would do if that was my child. I don't know if
I can't even imagine
private details. I may have told the story publicly, but I don't know if I should reveal private details of any prominent personalities. But I was hanging out with a prominent personality. I'll just put it like that. And we were talking about the riots in Ferguson, Michael Brown being killed, whether it was just or unjust. And he said, I don't care. You kill my son, I'll make the whole world pay.
Yeah.
Yikes. This is a man of means and capability. And I said, I believe him. I believe him. What a horrifying story. What will we do? What will we do in America to protect what matters to us most? To make sure that our young people have an opportunity, that our country stands strong? This young Gen Z woman, the best example of Gen Z, life taken from her because of these ridiculous Biden policies. I'm so angry. I hope you are too.
A lot to be angry about.
We fight for a better future where you open your front door and your young kids, not too young, but your kids, you say, come back when the lights turn on. A high-trust society where you can leave your bike in your front yard. No one's going to take it.
But you can't.
You know what's funny?
No matter where you're at, you can't do that anymore.
There's still a remnant of this. It's mountaintop skiing. You ever go skiing? For those that haven't. Skiing or snowboarding, you take your skis off and your snowboard because you got to go to the bathroom where you want to eat a cheeseburger, whatever you got to do, and you just put them outside and you walk away. And you come back and there they are. Nobody took them. It's amazing.
Only.
There was a funny video where it was I think it was like a black dude being like, "Man, look at this." He's like, "White people just leave. These are thousands of dollars in equipment. There's no cameras anywhere. Literally, anybody can walk up and just grab. You could accidentally grab someone's skis or snowboard." He thought it was funny because you don't have that in the cities. There was another video where it was a bunch of black dudes were grabbing a bunch of ski equipment and just leaving with it. And that's the issue of low trust society. I'm not making this a race thing. That was what the video was. You talk about what you want to talk about. YouTube will probably reduce visibility on this video from me having said it. But that's the harsh reality of low trust society. Locking up the deodorant at Walgreens. I was at a CVS. I can't remember where I was. It was like Texas or something. And was it Nashville?
Toothpaste,
I'm gonna grab a little
deodorant,
ice cream. I went to the ice cream freezer. It was locked. I was like, "Are you kidding me? If I want ice cream, I have to ask an employee to cut."
Everything's locked up.
That's insane.
It's
time to bring back high trust society, my friends. We got to do what we got to do. I'm gonna leave it there. Smash the like button. Share the show. Stay tuned. Thank y'all so much for hanging out. We'll see you all in the next segment.
Okay, 116 likes.
Over the holiday, I made a video discussing these billboards that popped up, effectively calling on the military to defect, to violate. Over the holiday, I made a video discussing these billboards that had popped up, effectively calling on the military to defect, to violate their orders and break the chain of command. The website these billboards send you to instruct these men and women in uniform how to engage in, let's just say, on the lightest side, private communications. But they're basically telling you how to bypass any kind of, let's just say, investigatory scrutiny when you do something illegal. The purpose of the instructions was that they expect you to do something that could be incriminating, compromising, or illegal. To put it simply, my friends, there are elements in this country that are fomenting civil war. I know you may see this cliche, but I've been talking about it for some time, and it's only gotten worse.
That went off.
We know of this story where Mark Kelly, appearing on Meet the Press, says the troops can decide for themselves. They can tell when the orders are illegal. We have this from Meet the Press. Let me show you this in their own words.
Let me ask you about the other big story this week. You joined 5 other Democratic lawmakers in a video urging service members to disobey orders they believe are illegal. We're seeing some of that video play, Senator, right now. In response, the Pentagon has opened an investigation into military laws. It says that you may have violated. The FBI is reportedly launching its own probe. Now, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has personally threatened to recall you to active duty so that you can be court-martialed. Secretary Hegseth adding your video, quote, intentionally undercut good order and discipline.
He said something,
something very simple and non-controversial, and Donald Trump said I should be hanged.
Number one, Trump just commented with sedition, even though he was wrong, sedition is hung, or used to be hung anyway. But sounds like he's just admitting to it, because Trump didn't post anything of the video, anything like attached to the video, never commented on the video that they did. Like, it wasn't a direct comment to anything. It was just saying sedition is equals death by hanging or something like that. I forget what exactly the post was. He didn't tag them in it. He didn't comment on their video. Like, it just sounds like these people are admitting to sedition. Like, they know they did something wrong, and now they're like, oh, well, he's threatening us, so we're gonna clutch our pearls because we might have towed the line, which is what they've been trying to do, but they're pushing the line a little bit too much in this video that they made, and we all know it. It's supposed to be, don't listen to Trump. That's all they mean by their video. Don't listen to Trump, because we say everything he does is illegal, even though it's not. It's just ridiculous. Ridiculous Democrat banter and BS. It's annoying.
Is this? We say follow the law, and this is their response. These are not serious people. And Kristen, this is meant to just intimidate us. We're sticking up for the Constitution here and the rule of law, and they're saying these folks should be executed for doing that. I mean, Pete Hegseth is not a serious person. He's unqualified for this job. Should have never been put in this job. I did not vote for him. I think he is the least qualified.
This dude's a complete loser, and he's just a manipulator. You can tell how manipulative he is,
by how he has done this
and how he's wording things and how he's talking.
Thinks he can bully and intimidate people, and he's not gonna stop me from speaking out and holding him accountable for the things that he does that are wrong and unlawful.
Do you plan to cooperate with any investigation, including a potential court-martial?
Well, just like saying that we should be hanged, executed, that's about intimidation.
Again, it just sounds like they're admitting to sedition, because that's all Trump posted about. Now they're like pearl clutching at something that wasn't even directly directed at them.
Let me ask you about the substance.
It's a joke. These people are a joke. Wait a minute. Finish watching the video.
Of this video and your message in it, what specific orders do you believe President Trump made that you consider unlawful?
Well, so this is looking forward, but let me give you a pass, an outline of things that he has said in 20.
Over the holiday, I made a video discussing these billboards that had popped up, effectively calling on the military to defect, to violate their orders and break the chain of command. The website these billboards send you to instruct these men and women in uniform how to engage in to violate their orders and break the chain of command. The website these billboards send you to instruct these men and women in uniform how to engage in, let's just say, on the lightest side, private communications. But they're basically telling you how to bypass any kind of
his illegal orders. He was given, he's
to active duty, so
over the holiday, I made a video discussing these billboards that
going on
popped up,
YouTube?
effectively calling on the military to defect, to to violate. Over the holiday, I made a video discussing these billboards that had popped up, effectively calling on the military to defect, to violate their orders and break the chain of command. The website these billboards send you to instruct these men and women in uniform how to engage in, let's just say, on the lightest side, private communications. But they're basically telling you how to bypass any kind of, let's just say, investigatory scrutiny when you do something illegal. The purpose of the instructions was that they expect you to do something that could be incriminating, compromising, or illegal. To put it simply, my friends, there are elements in this country that uniform how to holiday. I made a video discussed to violate. Over the holiday, I made a video discussing these billboards that had popped up, effectively calling on the military to defect, to violate their orders and break the chain of command. The website these billboards send you to instruct these men and women in uniform how to engage in, let's just say, on the lightest side, private communications. But they're basically telling you how to bypass any kind of, let's just say, investigatory scrutiny when you do something illegal. The purpose of the instructions was that they expect you to do something that could be incriminating, compromising, or illegal. To put it simply, my friends, there are elements in this country that are fomenting civil war. I know you may see this cliche, but I've been talking about it for some time, and it's only gotten worse.
That went off.
We know of this story where Mark Kelly, appearing on Meet the Press, says the troops can decide for themselves. They can tell when the orders are illegal. We have this from Meet the Press. Troops can decide for themselves. They can tell when the orders are illegal. We have this from Meet the Press. Let me show you this in their own words.
Let me ask you about the other big story this week. You joined 5 other Democratic lawmakers in a video urging service members to disobey orders they believe are illegal. We're seeing some of that video play, Senator, right now. In response, the Pentagon has opened an investigation into military laws. It says that you may have violated. The FBI is reportedly launching its own probe. Now, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has personally threatened to recall you to active duty so that you can be court-martialed. Secretary Hegseth adding your video, quote, intentionally undercut good order and discipline.
He said something,
something very simple and non-controversial, and Donald Trump said I should be hanged.
Number one, Trump just commented with sedition. Even though he was wrong, sedition is hung, or used to be hung anyway. But sounds like he's just admitting to it, because Trump didn't post anything of the video, anything like attached to the video, never commented on the video that they did. Like, it wasn't a direct comment to anything. It was just saying sedition is equals death by hanging or something like that. I forget what exactly the post was. He didn't tag them in it. He didn't comment on their video. Like, it just sounds like these people are admitting to sedition. Like, they know they did something wrong, and now they're like, oh, well, he's threatening us, so we're gonna clutch our pearls because we might have towed the line, which is what they've been trying to do. But they're pushing the line a little bit too much in this video that they made. And we all know it. It's supposed to be, don't listen to Trump. That's all they mean by their video. Don't listen to Trump. Because we say everything he does is illegal. Even though it's not. It's just ridiculous. Listen to Trump. That's all they mean by their video. Don't listen to Trump. Because we say everything he does is illegal. Even though it's not. It's just ridiculous. Ridiculous Democrat banter and BS. It's annoying.
We say follow the law, and this is their response. These are not serious people. And Kristen, this is meant to just intimidate us. We're sticking up for the Constitution here and the rule of law.
Well, for the Constitution here.
These folks should be
So,
executed.
they don't care anything about the
I mean,
Constitution.
Pete Hegseth is not a serious person. He's unqualified for this job. Should have never been put in this job. I did not vote for him. I think he is the least
This
qualified
dude's a complete
Secretary of
loser,
Defense in the history
and he's
of
just
our
a
country
manipulator.
by
You can tell
far.
how
And you
manipulative
can see
he
this
is.
by how he
About the other big story.
holding him.
Why should I get
I
video?
did not vote for him. I think he is the least
This
qualified
dude's a complete
Secretary of
loser,
Defense in the history
and he's
of our
just a
country
manipulator.
by
You can
far.
tell how
And you
manipulative
can see
he
this
is,
by how he has done this
and
job
how
over the last
how
6
he's
months.
wording things and
This
how he's
president
talking.
thinks he can bully and intimidate people, and he's not gonna stop
Of
people
course.
speaking out and holding him
Excuse me. That
said something on a debate stage and was reminded that would be illegal, and he said the military
Because the
will not
military has never
refuse his orders,
disregarded
regardless of whether they're legal.
the commander-in-chief's orders, whether they're illegal or not. Look at all the things Obama has done.
How un-American,
Bush,
how
Biden.
unconstitutional is that? Fortunately, there was a secretary.
There have been many illegal acts done by presidents. Not justifying it, just saying, like, he's saying, look at what these presidents have done in a way. Like, they've never been
because of this
rejected.
This Secretary of Defense, that we could have a
Wasn't a simple message. It was meant to be
So
seditious.
this was a simple message, follow the law, and it was looking
Yeah.
forward.
So I'll address that really quickly. I don't want to just play this straight 6 minutes. We'll address that very quickly. This is an escalation. I'm not going to pretend that Trump is perfect. I don't need to. But of course, the world we live in is if in any way you're defensive of Trump, you're defending everything he does. Now, this is the Stop Making Me Defend Trump show, where when you have people like Mark Kelly and Slotkin, other Democrats, telling troops not to disobey illegal orders, at the same time you have Democrats in Congress and prominent liberal pundits calling everything Trump does illegal. This is the problem. When you have overt illegal activity going on in these Democrat jurisdictions as it pertains to politics, when you have a refusal to deport, you are protecting criminals from federal law. The feds are going to come in and enforce these laws. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I like the idea of federalized police, national police, or the military being deployed. But this is all part of an escalation, and all of it is bad. This man is dumping gasoline on the fire along with progressive groups that are trying to get troops to defect. This all goes in a bad direction. But here's what he has to say about the illegal orders.
Well, and let me talk to you about some of what's happening right now. The Washington Post reporting that Secretary Hegseth gave an order to kill everybody on one of those suspected drug boats during the first strike in September. Are you calling for U.S. service members to actively disobey orders like those?
Well, if orders are illegal, not only do they not have to follow them, they are legally required not to follow them.
Do you think that constitutes an illegal
I think
order?
there needs to be an investigation.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I hope that the
You only
reporting
care about your
is not
paycheck.
accurate. I care so much about the United States Navy and those service members. This was an operation involving the most professional members of the military, U.S. Navy SEALs, who I revere. I hope and pray that this is not true. But there needs to be an investigation by the Inspector General. Pete Hegseth fired many of the inspectors general in DOD.
I think
But who's ever left needs to investigate it.
Power
We're going
down,
to investigate it. I
mister.
sit on the Armed Services Committee. We're going to have an investigation. We're going to have a public hearing. We're going to put these folks under oath, and we're going to find out what happened, and then there needs to be accountability.
Let me ask you, you referenced this, you were a pilot.
Notice he didn't answer the question, but he basically, this is the game. She asked him about whether or not the orders over the boat strikes and the Venezuelan escalation are illegal, and he says they should not obey illegal orders. This is assumptive reasoning. This is a manipulation technique. What he's
manipulating
doing is tricking people
manipulative man.
into connecting dots he never said. But we are not retards. Courts don't work this way. You can't call for violence in a video game.
Hassan
And the
Hassan
judge is gonna
Hussein
be
Piker.
like, yeah, okay, I guess said in a video game. The real issue is when you see people like Mark Kelly intentionally try to incite disloyalty and defection in our military, the only question is, does the political power exist to stop him? The answer is no, it doesn't. Donald Trump may try to exert political authority over these individuals. I mean, he said some extreme things. Sedition, punishable by death. It's not. Sedition is punishable by, I believe, 20 years in prison max. Treason is death, but treason is way more than just this. This is a violation of 18 U.S.C. 2387, inciting disloyalty against the military, in the military. However, the issue is, good luck. Democrat judges are hyperpolarized, and right now we have two distinct nations existing in the same space. The question becomes, will Mark Kelly succeed in his vile and disgusting attempt to sow discontent in our military? Let me just tell you, my friends, Barack Obama blew up kids, okay?
Yep.
And we can talk all day and night about how that's illegal. And we can talk about how we need accountability at the highest levels. We can talk about how in war, men and women in uniform follow orders.
Very much so.
Now, there are challenges in how we handle these things. I don't think military strikes are as cut and dry as American domestic policy when, like, CBP is bringing in child sex slaves, right? Even then, it can be a bit of a challenge. But I think if you're a CBP agent and you knowingly transported a young girl into sex slavery or boy, prison. If you're an American serviceman or woman and you're given orders as it pertains to the Caribbean, these drug boats, or the Middle East, depending on the orders, I get it. If you're ordered to go and just like shoot a random person for no reason, like, okay, stop, hold on. But when we're talking about, here's the intelligence, it's not a random person. I mean, literally in the random sense, like if a commanding officer said, hey, see that farmer over there? Shoot him. You'd be like, whoa, hold on. That guy, we know that, like, it's a random guy walking down the street. There are still challenges there because you don't know if he's an appropriate military target. You don't know if he's an enemy combatant, whatever. The point is, there are certain circumstances where you can literally be like, bro, I ain't doing that. More importantly, if they said, like, hey, here's a busload of school kids, unload on it. You'd be like, no way, dude, I'm not doing that. We have a military target. It's a boat. We believe it's carrying drugs. Take them out. Now, if we find out after the fact there was a problem, this is yes, accountability and all this stuff. The problem is Mark Kelly and the other Democrats are fomenting factionalization of our military. I talked about this over the weekend, as I mentioned. I'm sorry, over the holiday. These billboards popping up. Did you go airborne just to pull security for ICE? Not what you signed up for.org. If you're National Guard, you literally signed up for this. If you are in the military, if you are a Marine, you literally signed up for this. It's called the protective principle. The president can deploy military to federal buildings, and that is a de facto protection of that building. They're not being ordered to enforce domestic law. They can provide logistical assistance and general security for federal property. They're not enforcing domestic law. That would violate posse comitatus. They're telling these troops, these National Guard who literally signed up for this, that they didn't. And then instructing them how to communicate with them in a way to hide information that may incriminate and get them in trouble because it's illegal.
Yeah, I don't care about it.
And so here we are with Mark Kelly doubling down.
Yourself, you flew 39 combat missions over Iraq and Kuwait. You're asking officers in the field to make really tough calls about the legality of what they are being asked to do. So I want to put the question to you. If you were still in uniform, if you received an order to strike suspected drug boats overseas and kill everybody on board, would you refuse that order in real time?
Well, let me start by saying I've sunk 2 boats, 2 ships. I sunk an OSA-2 missile patrol boat in Kuwait Harbor. I sunk a Polnokny troop carrier.
Should you
in the
have?
Persian Gulf during the first Gulf War. Never once did I question
You just
whether
dance.
those orders were legal or illegal. People can tell the difference.
You can't even describe what an unlawful order is.
Unlawful and something that is lawful. And if I was ever given an unlawful order,
You can't even describe what an unlawful order is.
You know, if you have time, you can certainly go to the judge, advocate generals, the lawyers, and have a discussion about it. If you don't have time, you just say simply, I'm not going to do that. That's against the law.
It puts a lot of burden on the troops to make a decision in real time. But
and they wouldn't be doing these strikes.
But that is their responsibility, and they can figure out. You know, a reasonable person can tell something that is legal and something that is illegal.
So now you have National Guard in Chicago saying this feels illegal when they're ordered to patrol.
Yeah.
It's entirely legal. Nothing about it even close to illegal. And
I think
National
so.
Guard routinely do American domestic work. They're National Guard. Maybe this guy's
He's trying to. He's doing it purposely.
But he is fomenting
There's a purpose. There's always a
factionalization of our
purpose.
military. Is it emergent? Just dominoes falling over? You tell me. But again, I say this in every circumstance. It doesn't matter. Now, the individuals of lower cognitive function with 3rd grade reading levels, Sam Cedar, I said his name. I hope he gets a good clip out of this. Intentionally take my statement out of context when I say the truth doesn't matter. So I try to be more clear. The truth doesn't matter to partisans. And what that means is, obviously, the truth matters in a holistic moral sense. But if you're a partisan Democrat trying to foment civil war, unrest, factionalization, you don't care about what's true. You care about what gains you power. Same thing is true for a lot of people on the right. Although I think on the right, it's a tendency. On the left, it's a rule. Certainly there are good people on the left who don't fall into these categories, but most of them do. They know they're lying. And the right has they know they're lying people too, but typically the people on the right are actually just trying to figure out what's true. Mark Kelly, whether he's intending to or otherwise, is fomenting discord in our military, saying, question your orders. You can tell. What he should be saying is, if you feel like an order you're given may be illegal, consult JAG officers. What he said, Judge Advocate General? He said, certainly they can do that. That's all I got to do. No. You can't tell. You can ask questions. You can say, what are the rules on this? They're going to come to you and they're going to tell you, look, what Trump is telling you to do is lawful. But the idea that he is saying that anything Trump is doing right now may be illegal.
Hard truth for them.
Defy it. That's the point. Because the truth is Trump hasn't done anything illegal. So why insinuate otherwise? Right now he's questioning the strikes on the Venezuelan ships. He's saying there should be an investigation. Oh, I hope these reports aren't true. So that the people involved in the Venezuelan operation will say, I don't know, man. Democrats are going to come. They'll come after me.
Lay down, Diva. Yep, I agree.
The factionalization is happening. It's getting worse. These people are insane, and Mark Kelly should resign. Scumbag. He's doing this for political reasons. He's doing it so that he can grandstand. There's no reason to do this. But these people have lost their minds. I'm not going to sit here and defend Trump saying sedition is punishable by death or any of that. Everyone's going crazy. But it is terrifying, and Democrats started it. Again, by all means, Trump shouldn't have said what he said. The point is, he didn't throw the stone. The Democrats did. They said his orders are illegal, and people should defy illegal orders. Liberal pundits and Democratic politicians for the whole year, Trump's first year, second term, have been saying his orders are illegal. National Guard deployment illegal. Marine deployment illegal. Questioning the Venezuelan strikes. And then saying, you should defy illegal orders. We get it. These people, if they are not charged, arrested, and stopped, will continue to foment discord. There needs to be proof to the American people that our union is strong and our laws stand.
Very true, Tim. Very true.
I guess we'll see. Smash the like button. Share the show with everyone you know. Stay tuned. More to come. Thanks for hanging out, and see you on the next segment.